Hello, class. We're going to talk about online lifespan and a release strategy. So what does that mean? Okay. Online lifespan means how long is it going to be valuable? Okay. Because when you make an infographic, infographics usually aren't just made for fun. Well, we are kind of make them for educational purposes, but when people actually make these things, the purpose is a little bit different. Like we said, the purpose might be for you to visit their web page so that they can become more popular, more credible, this type of thing. Their purpose might be for you to get you to buy things, right? There's always a purpose, okay? And when they make these infographics, it costs time and money, right? So you either pay a designer like yourself, right? If you get really good at these things, you can become an infographic maker, right? Graphic designer, and people will pay you for making infographics. So big companies, they might even have their own team of infographic designers, right? But the thing is, these things cost money to make. Okay, so money and time. Now, if they're gonna put money into this, they want to see some sort of return, right? That's why they're doing it in the first place, because they see it as an investment. I'm going to spend money to make an infographic. That infographic is going to lead back to the company. The company is going to make more money. Okay, so one question might be, how effective will this infographic be? Okay, and how long? Right? If this infographic that you put out there, people see it for 1 month and then it just kind of dies off, right? Is it really worth it? Right? You just paid some infographic designer X amount of money, and he's been working for 1 week on this thing. How much have you paid this person for a week? How much have you invested into this infographic? And is it going to be worth it if that infographic is only visible for a week, a day, a month? Okay, how long does it need to be relevant for? Okay, so these are things that you have to think about as a company, as a designer. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the different goals of an infographic. So we said one goal might be to actually direct traffic, right? Get links back to the company website. Okay, so this might be considered a long-term goal. Okay, so over time, people see this infographic, they follow the infographic, they click on it, it goes to the company web page. The company web page gets more hits, and it becomes more credible, more relevant, higher in the page ranking, higher possibility of search engine optimization, these types of things. So if you're thinking about long term, another thing might be short term, right? Very quick. Like I put on an infographic that just makes people just very impulsive. Okay, so I might put on an infographic that just is posted in like the subways, in the metro. Okay, and then people just, because of my infographic, people just run out and buy Nike shoes, or people run out and donate money to UNICEF or something like that. Okay, that might be a short-term goal. So in that case, this infographic doesn't need to hang around for such a long time, whereas something like this will need to be visible for quite some time in comparison. Okay, so having said that, when people build an infographic, they usually accompany it with some sort of release strategy. Okay, so how are they going to go about this? Okay, where are they going to post this? Right? Is it going to be posted on the subway, in the metro? Is it going to be posted on Facebook? Or are they going to make a blog out of it, things like that. Okay? So it's not really like this where, okay, we finished the infographic, we put it online, and now we just sit back and wait, watch people click, and watch the money rolling in, right? That would be great. But unfortunately, that's not really the case. Right? You have to be more active about things. Okay? So what can you do to be active with promoting your infographic, with releasing your infographic? Okay, because yeah, we want to really maximize the benefit. Like I said, we spent a lot of money to make this infographic, to pay somebody to do it, etc. We want the maximum, the maximum amount to come back to us. Right? We want to be able to benefit from it as much as possible. Okay, so your textbook explains these concepts here. I'll kind of summarize them to some extent, but you should look them up. You should go through your textbook and read more about them and find out more. Okay. The first phase of the release process is to make some sort of landing page. Okay. Now, what's a landing page? The landing page is where you will actually publish the infographic and not necessarily promote. Okay. That's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be like the, how do I say, like the original source, let's say. Like all links will come back to this place. And what that often is a web page. Okay? I have a web page, and perhaps it's on my company website. So let's say I'm Nike. Okay? So Nike.com. And on Nike.com, I have a specific page that has this infographic about the best ways to run, let's say. So some fitness information about how to run better. Okay, so on Nike.com /something or other / my infographic .com or whatever, or .html, we'll build a web page that actually will contain that infographic. Okay, and you might ask, why not just take the picture itself and just kind of post it all around? Just post it on Facebook. Okay, so everybody looks at Facebook, right? Everybody looks at Twitter. What's the other one? Instagram. So I'll take my infographic, I have it as an image, and I'll stick it in Facebook, I'll stick it in Instagram, all the different social media. Okay, that should get things going. And you might be thinking, okay, that's probably the quickest way to get things to go around, right? Is if things are on social media, they're going to go around. It's going to be a very great infographic. It's going to be really popular. And let's assume that it is a really good infographic. Okay, let's assume that when somebody sees this infographic, they're going to be like, wow, that's awesome, right? I need to share this. Okay, but how far will that go? Okay, so I have this awesome infographic. It gets posted on Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that. Okay, but like I said, that's not the best way. Right? The best way would actually have a dedicated web page that has that image on it. Okay, and when people share the image on Facebook, on Instagram, etc., that image on Facebook should point back to the website, right? So when I click on the image on Facebook, it shouldn't just open up the image itself. It should link to the web page that shows that image. Same with Instagram, whatever. I post that image of the infographic. and people are like, oh, great, that's wonderful infographic, and they click on it, right? When they click on it, it should go back to the web page on the company website and not just show the image itself. Why? Well, I'll let you think about that for a second. Think about links, right? When somebody clicks on an image, link back to the website. What does that do for the website, right? We talked about this with search engine optimization, right? When people click and it links back to your website, that's another click for you. That means more popularity for you. That means more credibility for you. That sort of thing, okay? That's the first thing, right? Having that click registered to you. Otherwise, if they just click on Facebook, who's that click registered to? Facebook, right? That has nothing to do with your infographic. How does your infographic gain popularity? Or how does that popularity come back to you, right? We have no idea where that infographic is from, right? Where does it originate? Okay? If you're smart, you might have put a website address on your infographic, right? We said in the conclusion of an infographic that often in the conclusion there's a website or a link, right? So if you're smart and design that, people could have that link that they could follow. But how often do you look at an infographic, look at a link, spend the time to take that link, copy it, and paste it into a new window, right? That takes time, that takes effort. Nobody likes effort, right? Oh, effort, right? So what would be a lot easier is that if they could just click on the image and it just automatically goes to the website, right? Just ease. Here's another reason why. The image problem. Okay, so when you post an image on the internet, Google sees it as a rectangle, right? It can't really distinguish one picture from another, okay? Because Google cannot read pixels. It can't read dots, which is essentially what an image is. An image is just made of a bunch of dots, colored dots, okay? And that's what Google sees. Google reads words. Can I attach words to an image? Not really. You might be able to name your file, right? You could call it, you know, my infographic dot JPEG. So you could try putting a descriptive name of your file, and Google might be able to read that, but how many words do you want to use to name your file? Do you want to use infographic about running, benefits of running, etc., Nike, blah, 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 dot JPEG? Right? You can't really do that. Okay. So the advantage of having your image inside a web page is web pages can have words associated with them. When you build web pages, you can specify keywords, you can add titles, you can add headings, etc., etc. All those things are readable by Google. And in having so, Google can index that web page a lot easier than it can index an image, right? So it can index images. Google does have search for images and stuff like that. You can put information with images, but it's not as thorough as a web page. Okay, web pages can contain a lot more information, and that's why you should have your image hosted on a landing page. So like I said, a dedicated landing page can be indexed, can be found more easily by a search engine because it has all these things that come with a web page: keywords, the URL name, HTML tags, headings, even images that inside the web page can contain information. Okay, so just let me show you an example of a landing page. Okay, so if we go here, you can see that somebody's posted an infographic on Facebook, and if I click on it, it's not just an image, right? It actually takes me to this page here, which contains the infographic itself, right down here. Okay, so there's not the infographic as part of a web page, and if you actually click on here, it will take you to the original posting of this infographic, which was posted by this National Centers for Environmental Information. And if you look closely at these, right, here's the image, click on it, there's the image itself, right? This image was hosted on a web page, and as you can see, they were smart, like I said, that they post the name of where this infographic comes from, right? The name of their website. Okay, so pointing back to them, right? Very important to get traffic directed to them, right? Traffic directed to this National Center for Environmental Information. Right? Even if it doesn't point exactly to the infographic itself, it points to their company or their institution or whatever this is. Okay, this is the image, right? That's hosted on this web page. This would be considered the landing page. As you can see, lots of words, lots of text, lots of things that can be used to index this image, this infographic, which in turn leads back to this institution or this company, whatever it is. Okay. So that's the landing page. Once you've done that, that's already a huge step. The next thing is, okay, start promoting it. Okay, and this is where you start getting into the Facebook and the Twitter and stuff like that, the reposting, the sharing, getting other people to share. And you know, if it's really popular, it can go viral because just so many people are sharing it. Okay. The whole point is, how can I get more people to see it, right? Get more people to see it. When other people share it, that person shares it with 2 people, those 2 people share it with another 2 people, and you can see exponential growth in people seeing your infographic. Okay, so promoting is very important. Okay. One thing you can do is promote just on your website itself. Okay, so again, if I'm Nike, right, my homepage, maybe I don't want to host the infographic right on my homepage, but maybe somewhere on the homepage I have like a little blurb, right, like kind of down a little bit after the most important information, and that just kind of shows like news or something like that, or just a little version of your infographic that's kind of eye-catching, right? And when something catches your eye, you might click on it, and then it will bring you to the landing page. So using your own website to kind of promote your own infographic. Okay? And as we've been talking about, social media. Right? Everybody knows social media very well. I'm very familiar with how it works, sharing, resharing, things like that. Okay? But social media is kind of, you have to be kind of careful about using social media, because things don't last very long on social media. Okay, what do I mean by that? When you post an image on your Facebook, for example, for how long do people see that image? A couple days, a week if you're lucky, right? Then you're probably going to be posting other things, so that just slowly kind of gets pushed down in your timeline. Okay, so maybe the first day, 10, 20 of your friends see it. The second day, another 5 people see it. Third day, 2 people have seen your post, that sort of thing. Okay, it's actually even faster than that, as they indicate. They say a 3-hour half-life. Okay, so every 3 hour, basically half the people are going to be seeing your infographic. So if you post an infographic on your company webpage, let's say not company webpage, company social media. So Nike has their Facebook. If they post an infographic on that, the first 3 hours, let's say like 1,000 people see it, or 1,000,000 or whatever. Okay. After 3 hours, only half that many people are going to see it. So if it was originally 1,000, after 3 hours, only 500 people are going to end up seeing that infographic, and then 250, and then you kind of go down from there. Okay. So as time goes on, people are less likely. So what often happens is people often repost, okay, or if you're lucky, somebody shares, okay, and then just kind of starts over. So Nike puts this infographic, and then like I don't know, some popular person, Lady Gaga, whatever, posts it on her Facebook, and then her fans go through that 3 hour half-life. So first 3 hours, Lady Gaga's fans are gonna see it, and then half those fans, and then half of those half fans after a while. So it kind of keeps going and keeps living through sharing. Okay, but if it isn't shared a lot, you might need to reshare it yourself. Okay, and just kind of like revive it. Okay, so things on social media do die down, which I'm sure you'll agree with, because you're probably more familiar with social media than I am. Okay, internal sharing. Okay, so your employees. So you've made that infographic, have it circulate around the company. Your company employees go, wow, that's cool. I'll share it on my Facebook. Right? I'll share it on my Twitter. I'll tweet it to my friend who's in South America, and guy in South America retweets it to people in China and whatnot. So, it can go a long way, right? Getting your own employees involved, right, inside the company. So it's not just, just push it out to the public and let the public handle it, but, circulate it inside your own company, and your company can work exactly the same way as social media does. Okay, and outreach is kind of like that secondary phase. Once you've given it to your employees, they give it to others, who give it to others, who give it to others. Right? You share it. Lady Gaga shares it, and people who are affiliated with Lady Gaga, like her music producer, I don't know, Warner Music or whatever, they find it really cool, and they share it on Warner Music website. And it kind of goes around like that. So outreach, reaching more people, reaching people that are further out, okay? And when you reach other people, right, that all comes back to you, okay? Because if you were smart, if you did things right, you set up your landing page, everything, every time that thing gets shared to somebody else, when somebody else clicks on that infographic, it should come back to your landing page, which means more traffic, more clicks, and that will be adjusted through the search engine, which sees that your site is popular, has lots of clicks, okay, and you'll slowly start to move up. Also, if your infographic is being shared by important companies or important people, right? If you have your infographic shared by, your mother or whatever, how valuable is that link from your mother's Facebook or whatever? But if Lady Gaga posts it on her Facebook and somebody clicks there, how much more valuable is that click? Okay, these are actually taken into consideration, right? If a really great company like Apple, Samsung, whatever, posts your infographic on their website, right? And somebody goes through the Apple website and clicks on your infographic, which brings them back to your website, that is worth a lot. Okay, so Google actually indexes also according to where those links are coming from. If links are coming from companies that are high up on this mountain, those are worth a lot more than if the links are coming from these places, okay, or your mom. Unless your mom is Lady Gaga, right? And then she'd be like up here. Right? But if your mom is like my mom, she's down here. I shouldn't say that. Sorry, mom. Mom, you're like up here. Okay. Anyways, you kind of get what I mean. That yeah, outreach, reaching what are so-called important people, important companies, and having them kind of promote your stuff for you. Right? It's not that they're purposely promoting your stuff, but inadvertently promoting your stuff for you just because you did such a good job in creating that infographic and you did such a great job setting everything up, promoting, and stuff like that. They inadvertently help you. Okay, so hopefully you got a pretty good understanding now about this whole business of the release strategy, right? Releasing your infographic, how to go about it to have the biggest benefit come back to you.